They don't know you. They don't know. They don't know you. Walk into the light. Walk into the light. Feeling lucky all the time. No stopping you and I. Let's leave the shadows far behind until this damage is done. But it takes so long, I can't wait anymore. Take me into the light. Take me into the light. Take me into the I don't know you, I don't know, but the night's so beautiful. You're so beautiful.
Hello, Keith.
Hey Shane, how are you?
I'm great. How are you getting on, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So how's the day so far?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Pretty good. It's St. Patrick's Day here in Ireland. I don't know if you knew that. It's like the
Oh yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day, Shane.
yeah. Thank you. So it's a
So
national sort of day of celebration and
yeah,
kind of parties, and it's a big day, big deal in Ireland. And how are you? How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Shane. Thanks for asking. A real pleasure
That's
to
good.
have you today on this interview.
Yeah, yeah. It's my pleasure. Thank you. And I saw the nice review that you wrote for the music, and I appreciated that.
Yeah,
It's very kind. Thank you.
thanks to Shane. And Shane, your debut album, Divine Accusations, is to be out this Friday. So
Yes,
would you like to tell me a bit on the songwriting and production that goes behind this new album?
of course. Well, thank you. I guess I've been writing songs since I was a teenager, and I guess over the years playing in different bands, then it was always just something that was in the background in my life. I have a career. I mean, I have a job and a family, and I was always doing this in the background, and I couldn't really explain why I was doing this. Writing songs just constantly, and I guess it came to a point really when I was in 2017. My daughter, Nisha, was born, and she was very seriously ill when she was born, and she died very soon after that.
Yeah.
And it sort of forced me to reevaluate a lot of things in my life, really. I had this passion for songwriting. It was really just, I guess, Keith, maybe like it brought into realization just the brevity of life. Life is very short and very much like a gift, and not something no one has the right to squander it. So anyway, it really just kind of forced me to then reevaluate, and it forced me to put the band together again. The other guys in the band they're all friends of mine that I grew up with, and I guess it was really from that point on, Keith, in 2018, then that we started to play music together regularly and started to really focus our abilities on producing the songs. And really, then the next thing that happened was COVID. So COVID started obviously 2020, which kind of put the brakes on the whole project. And then once the COVID restrictions loosened up, I immediately just thought, look, I just have to get this all recorded. I have to go and get this done professionally before some other event comes and just derails it again. I was worried about maybe another who knows another pandemic or God only knows what. I thought really like there was an urgency then just to get it all recorded professionally, and so we went into the studio then in 2023, and over the period of about 6 months just recorded all the tracks. And I mean, it was such a relief in one sense just to get it all recorded, because some of these songs, Keith, I've been like writing these songs, or started writing them like 20 years ago, and like kind of, just kind of changing things, going back, change this, change that, try different lyrics, different melodies, try different arrangement, and just to get it all finally finished, it was really just like a real relief for me. I'm quite proud of it. Like I'm quite happy with what we've accomplished. So I guess that's it in a nutshell, really.
Fantastic, Shane. Thanks for sharing. And hi, Phil. Nice to have you. And hello, David.
Hey
Hi,
guys.
There's David.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, happy Patrick's Day.
So, how are you guys doing today?
Good, thanks. Yeah,
Do you
day off.
do you have
Day off
do you
work.
have a haircut, didn't you? You had a
I
trim?
thought he was late. I was getting my long locks shortened. So yeah. Now they're out for a couple of pints later. It's a bank holiday here in Belfast. So yeah, all good. All good.
Fantastic.
I watched that Bob Dylan film last night, and I have to admit it was very good. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm in the mood for some Dylan. I think I'm gonna stick on, Highway 61 and blast through it on the bass. I have some work to do for work, but I don't know. I have a free house here, and the bass is calling. So that's my plans.
Okay, it's cool. And like I was just speaking with Shane on the debut album, Divine Accusations, and we had a quite quick interaction on that one. And I would like to know, guys, like, was there any storyline or a concept that goes behind Divine Accusations?
Perhaps, yeah. Like in terms of the way that the material is arranged, sort of sequentially, there is a little bit of a developmental theme. I mean, the first side of the album is all just really fast-paced, kind of up-tempo, rocky, kind of punky metal. It's sort of short, sharp shock. And then maybe as the second side of it kind of progresses, there's a more progressive sound. I think there's a little bit more thought in the dynamics of the way that some of the sonic arrangement is produced. It's a more produced sound, I think, on the second side, and also like sort of thematically, like I arranged it so that like the last batch of songs are all kind of concocted around a similar theme, which is just a kind of thinking about ways that an individual can try their best to live authentically and with freedom in modern society, and the difficulty of accomplishing that. So I think if you kind of look at the album in that perspective, I think you should hopefully see that like the start of the album is one thing, and the end of it is a different thing. And so the hope is that it's kind of taking the listener on a little bit of a journey. Hopefully bring you into the end zone with us at the end of it.
Keith, I always felt, as the album took shape, that and as it was finished, that Shane just referred to the listening order of the songs there, and as you listen to it, it does take you on a journey, and I kind of came away after listening to all the songs back going, it's without it actually meaning to be, it kind of like loosely, it's kind of like almost like a loose concept album. There's definitely themes that tie in together with it. And I think that's probably a good part of the reason why the songs came from where they came from Shane, and they do tie together nicely. I think it's good running order.
Fantastic. And I had the pleasure to listen to the entire album, and I have to say this is one brilliant album that you guys have put up. Like,
Thank you.
like the musicianship and not just like the modern copycat kind of stuff. And this is like pure music. This is what I was looking for a very long time. Like
Thank
the good old days, like you have bring the awesome music of rocking songs in this album and great vocals, a brilliant musicianship overall the album and very nice to listen to from the start to the end. There is not even a single song that you can skip from this album. And it's like the good old days when you listen to the whole album, right? So that's how I felt when I listened to this album. So I couldn't stop in the middle. It was like beautifully done. So thank you for this awesome work, guys. I really enjoyed this one. And as a creator, how do you guys feel about the outcome of your debut album?
Um, it's a bit weird just that it's finished, because it was such a long time where it was just something that I lived with, for ages, for years and years. It just and then to have it finished, it's sort of odd. It's just sort of odd. It's hard to describe really because for a long time I sort of thought, oh, this will never be finished. This will never be done. And then maybe just partly the effect of COVID really sort of hastening and focusing everybody, being really determined to get this thing, finalized and have it so that we have this thing in the can. So yeah, it's pride and also really want to get on and make another one now. Once the feeling of sort of satisfaction of having it finished. Think, yeah, I want to do some more of this, make some more music. So we're very much planning and gearing up to recording a second album, hopefully this year and get it out next year. That's the plan.
Awesome.
I think what I liked about the album is each tune has its own vibe, its own atmosphere, musical era that it draws inspiration from, but there's a cohesiveness to the sound from the start to the finish, and I was pleased with that. I was pleased with the coherency of the sound from start to end, with the variety of it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Also, there's a magnificent bass playing throughout. I have to give a shout out to the bass player there. He's fantastic chops on the bass.
Thanks, Shane. I think everyone really brought their A game into the studio. And yeah, there was a lot of work put into it. Now we'll have to think about how we're gonna show this live. And we've done some gigs, but we're still working on how can we put a show on that really, brings out the best of the album, really, and the songs live.
And this Friday, you're also releasing your single and the last song from the album History. So will there be a music video that will be coming along, or is just a single release?
Yeah, I think there will be. There's just a lyric video at the minute, Keith. But yeah, that'll be coinciding with the album. I think it's probably the best. Well, I think it's probably maybe the best song on the album. I think so. Except I'm really excited to see what the feedback is about it because I think it's the one track. If somebody said to me, right, like play one song from the album, I would probably point them towards that. It's the one I think is kind of shows the best side of the band, and yeah, really looking forward to hearing what people think of it. But yeah, I would love to make a proper music video. Like I've lots of ideas about what things I'd like to do, but yeah, we haven't quite got around to actually doing a proper music video yet. But we will in the fullness of time, with a fair wind. And Keith, what could you tell me a little bit about the magazine and the website that you're involved in?
Yeah.
What kind of vibe is it?
Yeah, this is called Metalheads Forever magazine. So we started this about 12 years ago, like me and my buddy David from Canada. So that's how it all started, and we've been working with quite a lot of recording labels, and I've been dealing with a lot of bands, and I also manage a few bands around here, and it's been the reach has been quite good around the world, I have to say, Shane.
Thank you. I'm not exactly I wouldn't call myself a metalhead. I mean, I would say when I very first started listening to music, the very first band that I really loved was Metallica.
Mm,
And I can remember the very first time I heard Master of Puppets. It was like,
mm.
I'd say 1987. I'm trying to place exactly what it was, 'cause the album came out in 1986, obviously. And I remember hearing like the start of Battery.
Yeah.
And I just went crazy. Like I just ran around the house. It was like somebody had just plugged me into an electric
Mm,
circuit or something. It was just like that was the greatest thing I'd ever heard. Just that riff where it starts out on the acoustic guitar, and then all of a sudden you just got this big monumental, the most powerful thing ever. Like I was really kind of hearing that when I was a kid. It made me want to probably learn the guitar.
yeah.
And as the years have gone by, I mean, I still love Metallica as much now as I did then. But I didn't really go into full on metal. I got more into sort of an indie, hard rock.
Yeah.
Like I said, Guns N' Roses, Nirvana,
Yeah.
and then went into that kind of 1990s bands that were big at the time were like Oasis and Stone Roses, they're kind of British uh, indie bands. And that was the kind of direction that I ended up going in. But I mean, still absolutely love Metallica. Got to see them live at Slane Castle a few years ago, and it was absolutely brilliant. Although I was a bit gutted they didn't play Battery. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. And you guys have some big plans for this Friday for the day of release?
Well, hopefully just get together and play the album with our friends and family, and just give it a good listen. Yeah, but that'd be it really. We're still we're trying to incorporate a new drummer at the minute because our Sean, who was the drummer on the album, had some health issues at the end of last year, so he's had to retire from the drums. So right at the minute, we're just working with a new drummer to try and get the songs tight for live performance. So yeah, that's kind of where we are at the minute. So we have a new drummer, Tristan, who's going to be working with us in the next few, in the future. But it's
Well,
difficult in the early days.
we haven't actually announced that. So, yeah, officially we haven't told the world about the new drummer. So we'll probably have to make an announcement at some point. But Tristan's come in. I've met him. Yeah, he's a good lad, and I think we're all looking forward to being pushed and pushing him and seeing where it goes. It's gonna be interesting.
Definitely.
Yes. And are you guys having plans to have some kind of session drummer to go with the touring plan for this year?
Well, it's interesting you should say that. The plans really, I would say, are to try to get to the point where we have the whole album and we can just reproduce it. You know, there's a lot of like technical stuff in the background that the producer did, which helped with sort of the guitar sounds, and it's very challenging to recreate that live. So we're planning to spend a few months just really intensely rehearsing and getting the tone, like the tones of the guitar and all of those kind of transitions tight. Um, so that's, I think the next couple of months is probably going to be spent on that, as well as just trying to get in Tristan, kind of tightened up and as Phil said, seeing what direction that goes in. It's funny how like
the new song.
With what, sorry?
I'm saying like especially with the new songs. It's going to be interesting seeing like what brought to the table, and I'm hoping to get a couple of tunes on the next one myself. I haven't written them yet,
Absolutely.
but I'm gonna surprise everyone with a bit of '70s disco.
Sounds good, Phil.
Great. And guys, would you like to tell me a bit on Black Opal and how it all started?
Well, me and Shane
myself and
played
Phil,
in an old band.
this is going back 23 years now. Like I've been playing with Phil since I was like 17 years old, and I'm 42 now. So there've been a few different sort of manifestations of our band, with different sort of personnel coming and going, different singers, different drummers. But at the heart of it was, myself and Phil always kind of played together, and it got to the point where we kind of know each other's,
Ideas.
playing style inside out, and our musical ideas would be very much coming from the same place. So yeah, as I was saying to Keith earlier, then the band sort of came back to life in 2018 when I started playing with Phil again, and at that point we needed a drummer and we needed a singer, and so Phil was able to get us in touch with Sean, who played the drums on the record. But
I
at
played
that
with
point, we still didn't have a singer. And then the next thing was Dee just came back to Ireland. Dee had been living in England for a lot of years, probably for about 10 years. And then as soon as Dee came, I was like, band. So then it just kind of it just went from strength to strength, really, from that point. And that would have been, I'd say, middle to end of 2018. Then obviously there was a bit of a break with COVID, but yeah, that's just been going from strength to strength since then.
Yeah, I played with Sean in a previous band, which was just a wee project thing, and I also knew him from work, and it was just a really handy contact. I knew Sean would be up for coming down and playing drums, and it just all clicked into place. He came along, and yeah, the four of us just clicked very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Shane asked me, he said, "Do you want to come be in the band? Do you want to be a singer?" I was like, "Well, I've never really been a singer in a band before. I'll be honest. I've played guitar for years, maybe done a bit of backing vocals, and it took me about 6 months to realize I could actually do it. I got my head around the songs and repetition, and just eased into them and relaxed, into the songs, and then the vocals just became a bit stronger from that."
The vocals are great.
And any highlight moments that you guys want to share with me today?
I mean, we had a lot of fun recording in the studio. It's funny, like, when we went into it,
We didn't know Frankie, but we hadn't met him.
yeah.
It was an experience, I tell you.
Yeah. I guess we just sort of found out a lot more about our own abilities, really, when we got into the studio, and it wasn't really until the rubber hit the road and the recording thing started that we really sort of realised the potential for the band to be, a much better thing than it had been previously. So that would be for me the highlight. Really, was the process of recording songs, seeing them come to life. And seeing my buddies here, my best friends, develop their skills and realize their talent, in a very sort of real way, and it wasn't just playing around anymore. It wasn't just like a hobby, it was the real thing. So yeah, that would be. I mean, for me, that's the way I felt about it.
For me, Keith, the highlight was, I know it sounds cliched, like, but the journey of seeing the development of the songs, and then going into the studio and then bringing their potential to full life. And yeah, we had great crack in the studio as well. It was good fun. Keith always keeping the banter going, maybe a bit too much at times, but no, it was good, and I think we're all busting to get back in again and get more tunes down. Like, possibilities are endless.
I think what was good about it, the recording as well, Shane was always intent on leaving 10% to the gods, as you would say,
Oh
Shane.
yeah, that's
So
right.
bits and pieces would be tweaked last minute, or
Yeah,
something, a new idea would be brought to the table, and it kept it kept the freshness going with the recordings, you know.
Mhm.
Quite possible if we had unlimited funds, we'd still be there.
Shane with Dummy
yeah,
tweak.
that's exactly right.
Laying down orchestral arrangements, and you know, who knows what, Um, yeah, sometimes you just got to draw a line
You
under
have
it
to,
and
you have
say,
to keep the, you have to
there's
keep the
good
listener
fun.
engaged. So it
Sorry?
invites the listener to become involved in engaged in the music in a more direct way. Because the plan was to be slightly underprepared when we were actually come to doing some of the guitar solos, and just yeah, as Dee said, just to leave a little bit up to chance, because sometimes the best ideas happen that way. Rather than having every single note absolutely
Yeah.
worked out, you know totally, leave a little bit there so that it can be extemporaneized, if that's the word, sort of made up on the spot. So there are some parts of the album that are very much like that. They're just little sort of happy accidents. There's quite a lot of that in there, actually.
There are parts of like very organic, like that just kind of happened in the studio as well. And I think like when all bands are recording, those moments happen. And that was good. That was good.
Good, although it stressed the producer out quite a bit, like, because he'd be losing his mind if I was trying to make up some guitar part on the spot. But I'm glad that we stuck with that approach. I think it worked.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's great.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And any message that you have for the Black Opal fans around the world?
Keep rocking. Keep rocking.
Thank
Well, just keep listening. Hope you enjoy the album. Plenty more where that came from.
Yeah. Well, that's it exactly. Yeah, yeah. And we're glad that you enjoyed it. Really means a lot. We, I mean, we're all just massive music fans, really, at the end of the day. And partly what I hoped that this album would do would be to kind of, put something back. After having, over the years, really loved all the bands that I grew up listening to, and like I got so much out of it. I felt like I should put something back. So I'm hoping that somebody else will be able to get what I got from the other bands, from our music. So yeah, I just yeah, I think that's a bit in a nutshell.
Fantastic. And Shane, Phil, and David, I want to thank you both. Thank all of you for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to speak on Divine Accusation, your upcoming album. And like I said earlier, fantastic work from you guys. I am totally loving this album. So, so thanks for all for this wonderful work on this album. And I'm really hoping for more great new music from you guys and some amazing music videos as well. And I wish you guys all the best, and thanks again for this opportunity. It's awesome.
Thank you, Keith.
You
Cheers,
too.
Keith.
Thank you.
Thanks very
Thanks very
much,
much.
Keith.
My pleasure.
All the best. See you.
All the best. Good luck.
Yeah, take care. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.